Stable, and now our mics are working.
There we go.
All right, again, I am Wolf, and with me is Unstable. Welcome back to the GSL. This is Code S. It was Code A earlier, now it's Code S. It's advanced. It went through the up and down matches in between those last few hours, and now it's Code S here at the GSL. How are you feeling about these matches today, Unstable?
Very good about these ones. A little bit interesting with the players that are here, as of course Rain has actually left Code S and is going to open a free slot pretty much to someone.
And as it turns out, basically, remember guys, how this works out is Rain basically just essentially gets losses and free wins go to players. So essentially, some players ended up being lucky in this case because they get a free win. It's not just, oh, Rain's not there, we don't think about that anymore. You still have Rain play, he's just not here, so he gets a loss and the other player gets a win. So him leaving actually really affects this group.
It does indeed. Pretty lucky for TricKsteR, I feel, in this one. As he is the underdog in this group, consisting of NST and July. We'll see how good his PVZ is very shortly. Yeah, because TricKsteR and July will be battling first up. Now, if July wins, he'll have to play against NST, and or actually, if he wins, what happens exactly? This is all confusing to me because so what's happened is
they
the
changed
first
the
match.
Format a little bit.
They did. First match was supposed to be NST versus Rain. NST receives an auto win there.
Right. Okay.
And then we're going to have July and TricKsteR play. The winner of that will face NST for the top seed out of this group, and the loser will play Rain and get a free win. So pretty much this match here decides if they're on the bottom half or the top half.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. Well, I think that TricKsteR versus July, which is our first match, July has a huge advantage here. I mean, TricKsteR's win rate versus Zerg recently has been about 60%, which is pretty good. Yep. The problem is July is just, I think, a level above TricKsteR right now.
Yeah, I don't think you'd see many people who disagree with you on that one. So we'll see if he steps it up. Of course, TricKsteR did just leave his team in the last couple of days, so we'll see how that affects it. Personally, I don't know the reasoning behind that, but
yeah, that hasn't really been said. At least not what I'm aware of. I don't think it's been said. So he's no longer TSL TricKsteR. It's going to be hard for me to get into the mindset of not saying TSL TricKsteR, just saying TricKsteR. But of course, he was formerly known as Sakisu. Or SSKS.
Or also TricKsteR back in the beta days.
Yeah, so
he's been around a long time.
He has. He's used a lot of different names. He played in Brood War as well, so yeah. Everyone kind of knows this guy. He's a pretty good Protoss.
He rose to fame late in the beta, where he seemed unstoppable, and then just hasn't had a good run through the GSL recently.
He actually played Terran, I believe, in the beta first before switching to Protoss.
I believe you're right. Yes.
And he came up with all these different things. Someone was actually telling me the other day that he was the first person to realize that if you dropped the mule at the close patch, it would be traveling with minerals towards the command center and die with minerals in its hand, so you should not use mules at the close patch. A little tip for you guys, Terrans out there. If you drop mules at the close patch, on its last trip, it will die and you will lose the 30 minerals. They won't be given to you. They won't go back to the mineral patch. You'll just lose them. Yep. So, little tip for you guys. If you have a lot of APM, though, you can drop them at the close patches and then make sure that it doesn't happen at the end and you get a better mining rate, so...
Yeah. But I don't think anyone has that high.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, if you're dropping like 8 mules at a time, you can't do that.
And we are looking at the schedule here for today. It is, of course, Tuesday, the 28th. I almost got that wrong. Of course, with big props to TricKsteR for filling in this morning.
Yep.
As our guest caster. But he's back at practice. I've chained him to his desk yet again, getting ready for Friday.
Yeah. And so as you guys can see, it's a new format. We've got Code S on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then GSTL on Thursday and Friday. This week's a special case, trying to get through that Code A quickly because the qualifiers are coming up because of the way MLG is. We had to move the qualifiers around. So you guys can just kind of get an idea of how Code A works. The Code A final will be on the 18th of July on that Monday, and then of course the up and down matches will be on the week of the 26th to the 28th. The Code S final will be on the 30th of July, so keep those things in mind. Remember, GSTL Venus is on Friday, Jupiter is on Thursday, so if you look up your team, make sure the team that you want to follow is, make sure you know what day it's on, so that way you'll always know you don't mess up and miss those. You should watch every day anyways, but be aware of those. So here's the format. The round of 32 is kind of a double elimination tournament format. First and second place go to the round of 16. The third place guy stays in Code S, but does not, of course, advance. The fourth place goes the up and down, so a little bit different than usual.
Yeah. Especially in today's one because, of course, Rain going to drop straight down. So TricKsteR really has a very lucky day today, but of course you still want to do your best, want to get that seed going into the actual bracketed tournament.
Exactly. So obviously that bracketed tournament, what Unstable just mentioned, is the round of 16, which will all be played in sets of best of 3s. The round of 8 will be best of 5s, and then the finals, the round of 8 and the semifinals will be best of 5s, and the finals, of course, will be a best of 7. So
Looking
take a look
at
at
the
our
groups.
groups.
Today, of course, we have IM's NST versus the imaginary TSL Rain. ST July versus TricKsteR, and we also have Group B coming up after that as well, which is Any Pro Prime versus Clyde, and Violent versus Ensnare. So a lot of strong players today.
Yeah. And coming up tomorrow, we've got OGS Top versus Fruit Dealer, Startail Virus, and MVP Genius all going to be battling it out in that intense group. And then, of course, Group D will be IM Lucira versus Marine King, Xenex Coca, and Slayer's Leisha. That's actually one of the scarier groups out there. Coca is probably the lower person in that group, but even so, he's really, really solid. So that's a pretty tough group as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at that group and going, I did not want to be in that one. I couldn't pick who's going to come out of that.
Yeah, it's a tough group, to say the least.
Either way, we are going to be starting off on Belshire Beach here by the looks of it, between July and TricKsteR. It is best of one.
Yes. So remember, Belshire Beach, a map that Zergs have historically won against Processing in, except in one particular game where Slayer's men beat. Oh well, there was another game. All right, Unstable. Just trying to make me look bad. Just trying to give everyone the truth. Yes. I just want them to think otherwise. But yeah, historically, Process have not done well against Zerg on this map, so there's going to be somewhat of a challenge for TricKsteR. And not only that, but I mean, TricKsteR is the underdog in this. Like, no matter what map they're playing on, TricKsteR, I think, would be the underdog here in this matchup.
Well, this would be the updated version of Belshire Beach as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So there are a couple of little intricacies that we actually worked out yesterday. We'll go over them again today for you. And I think it's actually going to change the dynamic of the matchup, I believe.
It really does, because you can actually have that middle area is a little bit smaller. You've got the Zelnaga watchtowers there. You can kind of see where units going over here. Whereas before it was just kind of like, I'm going to go. I hope he's not on the other side, because if he is, we're going to have a base race. And a lot of times that's how it turned out. There were a lot of base races.
Yep.
So we're going to take a look at our players here in just a second. I'm hearing the music. It's the players' music. Oh, we're going to have VCR actually. Hold that thought.
치즈러시를 아직도 잊질 못해서.
네. 박서영 선수가 기권 요청을 했다고 들었습니다. A조에는 충격 강등절이 없습니다.
성희 선수 조지명신 할 때마다 잘 안 뽑혀요.
네.
잘 못하는데 좀 뽑아줬으면 좋겠어요.
네. 자, 접수 됐습니다.
네,
또 들었습니다.
김영진
김영진 선수.
네, 아까 대기실에서
네.
뽑아주신다고 하셨거든요.
네.
테라는 더 넣으면 안 돼요.
박성준!
있나?
역시 그래도.
박성준!
네, 너무 강곡해가지고
예.
그냥 기수형을 꼭
준영아 너무 사랑한다.
All right, so that was our Group A little video there, talking about the selections for those of you guys who missed. Obviously, Rain withdrew, so it's a kind of a weird choice. I'll talk about it a little bit. He made his move. He's joined Fnatic MSI, so we can call him Fnatic Rain now. He has joined that team, which is a pretty good foreign team. But the question to me is, why would he leave before Code S? He should at least, I mean, it looks good for Fnatic if they have a player in Code S. I find it a little bit strange that he would leave in the middle of Code S. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's very hard to be stuck in Korea when there's a lot of foreign tournaments going on. I think that's his reasoning behind it. Wants to get out of Korea, go and attend the MLGs, the DreamHacks, the everything.
Yeah.
And you just can't do that if you're in Code S.
Exactly. I mean, it does start to add up. Plus, if you lose in Code S, you're still in Code A. You're not really out of the system. So, you know, he's going to be here for a while. He's going to have to leave eventually. I just think that maybe it might have been better for him to try at least to do his best this particular season, that if he drops down to Code A, then leave. But that's my personal opinion about
Well, coming from a logistics point of view as well, it's very difficult to actually get yourself into those, register for those tournaments that you maybe don't know you can attend. If you're still in Code S, you can't attend them. If you're out, you can go, and it's just a nightmare from a management point of view.
That's true. The registering standpoint is a good point, because obviously, you know, when you register for a tournament like DreamHack, for example, you can't just say the week out before, oh, well, I lost, so I guess I can play. You have to register much further in advance.
And we have the stats here for July.
Yep. Startail July. His name is Park Sung-joon, for those of you guys who didn't know his Korean name. He is ranked 6th in Code S, or actually that's, I believe, in just all of GSL. It may just be for Code S, I'm not entirely sure about that ranking there, but if it's just for S, top 6 is still pretty good. So I have to say, good job. Has rate versus Pro Loss right now, 5 wins, or 6 wins, 5 losses, excuse me, 54.5%. That's pretty decent. Did actually lose in the round of 64 to Slayer's Min in the Super Tournament, which was somewhat of an upset. People didn't expect Min to do as well, but he did quite well.
Well, a lot of people think that July's weakest matchup is in fact ZVZ.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to get misconstrued about that kind of stuff, as of course people do have their preferred matchups, their worst ones, and it's not uncommon for a lot of players to drop out at round of 64, even if they are strong as July. And here we go for TricKsteR, Suki Su, ranked 15th. Not sure how that goes. But he did, of course, get knocked out in the round of 32 of Code S in May, 32 in the Super Tournament, and his current record versus Zerg is 3 wins, 2 losses. So we'll see how he goes today.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a 60% ratio, but remember, that's only 5 games. It's not a huge sample, so it's really hard to judge. In the past, historically, he's done okay versus Zerg. You know, not extremely well, not extremely badly. So 60% makes pretty good amount of sense. I mean, of course, those are just his most recent 5 games versus Zerg. And I have to say, though, on Belcher Beach, it's going to be pretty tough to win out unless he's got a specific strategy plan. If he's kind of adapted his style maybe towards Belcher Beach, he knows from the start that's going to be the map. It's not a mystery. It's not something he doesn't know. He's completely prepared for the map. I'm kind of curious to see, though, what he's going to be doing on this map. Yeah,
especially versus July with his very aggressive style. It's going to be interesting to see if he can hold that off. A lot of the games we see on Belcher is a lot of all-ins from the Zerg. And I think this is going to mirror that a little bit, so hopefully TricKsteR here can actually stand up.
Yes. Remember that Belcher Beach used to have 3 entrances to the natural, so it made it very difficult for that Protoss player to kind of hold that natural, move out, whereas now it only has 2 entrances. There's no third backdoor rock entrance, but it does make it a little bit more difficult to kind of send units over to take that third base location. So I'd say the map changes are good, though. I like them, and I think it makes it a much better map, and I think the reason that they were changed was because Zergs were just crushing face on this map. They just really were.
Well, not only do these players only play in the GSL, they do practice it within their teams, and a lot of the feedback managers of the teams do feedback to the GSL about the maps as well. So even though you only see a couple of people play on it, it doesn't mean a lot of games aren't. So
that's very true. LS Prime, a great map maker. He and Jackie make some of the best maps out there. This one is made by LS. Crevasse made by Jackie, so they work together. They're on the Prime clan, and they do a great job with these maps, and they're always open to suggestions and tweaking. In fact, I don't know about LS, but I know Jackie Prime has a Twitter. I think it's Jackie Prime with an underscore at the end of it. You can look that up somewhere. And he loves to get feedback from you guys on the maps, so just tweet at him about it. His English is okay, so you can listen to some feedback. I'm sure he'd be glad to hear it.
Well, that's what really the map making community needs at the moment, is they need a lot of feedback from the pro players, and Jackie and LS are in that position to receive that directly from GOM or the players and teams themselves. But it looks like we're going to go into it any second now. This is a best of one, remember. All rides on this.
It all rides on this. The countdown has started. Will July edge him out, or will TricKsteR show us some tricky styles on Belcher Beach?
I don't know. Head or heart, which one do you think is going to take this one?
I think I can't answer that question.
Answer that.
I can't. Let's find out here on Belcher Beach at the GSL Code S. All right, over here at the bottom right, a member of the team Startail used his name in Brood War as well as StarCraft 2. Used to be a member of the Prime clan. His name is also the name of a month, and that month is the 7th month of the year. He is
July.
Nice little new intro there here at the GSL. Startail July. His opponent, a Protoss player, is playing at the top left. Recently left TSL. Has used many IDs in the past. He is
TricKsteR.
I like the second girl better.
We'll agree to disagree then.
Alright, so from the looks of it, we are going to be seeing some sort of fast expand from TricKsteR. He has placed his pylon outside of his base. So usually when you see that, it indicates that someone's going to be fast expanding. Not always, but if you don't, it's a little weird.
Yeah. The general trend for this matchup I've seen on Belcher Beach is the Protoss trying to fast expand and the Zerg either all-inning them straight away or waiting for a timing attack to attack them. That's all I've really seen. Hopefully we'll see a bit of a mix-up now that it has changed a little bit.
Yeah, I think the map is much better now. There's still 2 entrances to the natural. They're very wide ramps. The natural's still relatively open. It's a little bit less open than before. But again, the main architecture of the natural remains unchanged. Basically, the entrances have changed, so that's something to keep in mind, and I'm sure that July will keep that in mind. He's actually going for a 15 pool, so pretty late pool there, then getting the gas afterwards. So pool gas opening is actually really unusual these days.
Yeah, it is indeed. But I don't know, these guys have known about their particular matchups and the maps they were going to be playing for about a week, just over a week now, because unfortunately you and I couldn't actually attend the group selections, which we have to make next time. We have to make a mental note of that one. But
they're pretty cool. I like the thought process that goes into it. You've got the players sitting in the audience, and it's pretty fun.
It's a good trash talking opportunity.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. The group stages are really awesome in general, but the choices for the groups are also just, it's really funny for the Koreans, and I like it. So right now, July has started mining gas. He's up to about 60 gas now. He's going to be making his hatchery pretty soon, as he gets rid of this pesky probe. It's blocking the natural.
Interesting choice to send 3 of his lings across to the Protoss base, in case sometimes you do see a pylon being blocked there for the natural, but of course not in this case. We do see a cannon going down here for TricKsteR, going to go and prepare to defend his natural against any kind of aggression. But I think he's going to be safe.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely safe. His cannon can hit the entire radius of the Nexus, and also he's walled himself off in such a way that the Zerglings just cannot sneak by. He's going to try to, but I don't think he'll be able to get past that cannon. Look at that pylon. It actually forms a full wall if you can't walk to the left of that pylon, although it looks deceiving. It is. Second cannon does go down just for safety measures for TricKsteR. Now remember, TricKsteR, he actually did scout the hatchery, so he knows it's not going to be a one-base timing attack, unless, of course, it was cancelled, but very unlikely that would be the case.
No, I feel even though July's style is very aggressive, he's also very smart at what he does. He's not going to overextend himself anytime soon. He wants to see what's going on. He, of course, does have both of those overlords near the main, the natural there for TricKsteR, and a nice position for him as well.
Yeah,
and, actually, quick third.
This is something that Zergs have been doing a lot recently in this matchup, because the maps that Jackie and Ellis have made just kind of lend themselves to that. Terminus Re, for example, you can take a quick third. This map, you can take a quick third. You can take a quick third on Crevasse. Why not do it?
Yeah, why not indeed? But given these positions on this map, it is quite difficult to get your creep to that third base very quickly. And that can sometimes hurt him with Stargate players, which is what we're seeing right here.
Yep, so there is the Stargate. And the reason why Proasses like to make this Stargate, for those of you guys who haven't quite figured it out yet, is because it's very simple. The Zergs recently have started to make that third base very quickly, and so in response, Proasses realized, oh, there's a good way to punish that. Just make one Void Ray, follow it up with Phoenixes. It's going to be too far away, they're not going to have enough queens. They might have one queen there, but one Void Ray and 2 Phoenixes will beat that queen. And if he has 2 queens, one Void Ray and 2 Phoenixes will beat 2 queens.
Yep. And even if they choose to bring their other queens from their natural and their main, they're going to lose all the injects. So it's a win-win situation.
It is absolutely a great move. Plus, then you have the Stargate tech, which you can use to hunt Overlords. You can make Phoenixes later if he goes for Mutas. It forces him to kind of want to make Hydralisks. It opens up a lot of different possibilities.
Especially with positioning here for July's Overlords. You can do this on Tal'Darim, I believe, as well. There's a little... There it is on the screen now, just above. You cannot see that from the Protoss point of view in both those positions, but July can see pretty much everything.
Exactly. So having those Overlords there not only allows him to see what composition his opponent has, what buildings he has there, also whether or not he's moving out. All of those things can be seen until the Void Ray pops out and ruins that Overlord's day. He's very aware now of the Stargate tech.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to get that creep to his third as soon as possible as well. He does have a queen about to pop as well. I believe that's on the third hatchery as well. It is indeed.
Yeah, he actually should be pretty fine here. He spread when he actually made 2 queens at his main hatchery and then made a creep tumor immediately with that second queen. Yep. So after that, he was able to spread that creep. So that creep's actually getting pretty close to that third base. And with just this one Void Ray here, he should be fine. He's already making a Spore Crawler. And one Void Ray does beat 1 queen, and July actually doesn't yet have a second queen. He may want to pull this back to the Spore. He's going to lose this queen, but the Spore will finish.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd be pulling that back, try and bait the Void Ray closer to where it's in range of that Spore Crawler when it finishes. At the moment, of course, not going to be able to do much damage as it does back off. Half an armor, though, is still a pretty good trade.
Yeah, decent trade. Now, oh, this is like the build, man. This is so trendy. This is trendier than those glasses I see the Korean girls wearing on the street. There's these trendy pair of glasses that Korean girls are wearing recently. They're all just wearing them. I'm like, why does everyone have the same pair of glasses? It's like this build though. Everyone goes a few Void Rays or maybe one Void Ray in Phoenixes. Now everyone's just going up to 6 gates and doing a timing attack after that. We saw San do it. We saw Tails do it.
To everyone.
We're seeing TricKsteR do it.
I like how July's trying to bait both of those Void Rays into the Spore Crawler there with his Queen. Unfortunately, one of them is charged already. Going to work on the drones as well. The Hydra Den has finished now, so we've got 7 Hydras in production. He will be able to bring them across as soon as he can. There's a little bit of a gap there for the creep, but it's not going to be too big of an issue.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Oh no, the Void Ray's getting a little too close to that Spore Crawler. One does fall. And the Queen remains alive, or at least for now she will. Will that Void Ray get the Queen? Does get that Queen. Things are looking kind of, I want to say it's looking bad for July, but he does kill both of those Void Rays. He's only lost 2 Queens. He hasn't really lost that much more. A few drones here and there.
He is slightly up on the supply, and if we have a look at the drone count here as well, I think we'll see that it's actually fairly even. It's just going to come down to him defending himself. Actually, no, it's not even at all. It's 74 to 60 already here for July, and he's going to be able to pump out so many units.
Yeah, this is actually, July has a somewhat predictable style in this matchup. He goes up to about 74 drones on 3 bases, then cranks out whatever unit is appropriate. That's how he plays this matchup. These Hydras are getting very aggressive. He's taking the Xel'Naga Watchtower with those Hydras. Now, this is really cool. I like what TricKsteR is doing here. He's making it look like he's about to take a 3rd base, but then he's actually just going to attack July when July has his pants down a little bit.
Yeah, we do see him moving across the map now. We do have Burrow and Roach Speed on the way for July as well, though. The Robotics Bay isn't finished yet. No Colossus on the way for TricKsteR, and he does have a lot of energy on those sentries as well.
And here he goes. Those Hydras might get force fielded away, and in fact they do. Those Roaches kind of sitting in the back, not really doing anything. Even the drones trying to come in here and help out. But more force fields do go down. The Roaches and the Hydra's not able to do a lot. He may target down the hatchery, then leave, and continue to throw down force fields to delay the units. They're actually going to try to go around for a flank, but I don't know if this is the right choice. They're going to be way away from TricKsteR's units.
And in come the Lings here. Nice force fields by TricKsteR, keeping the Roaches and the Hydras off creep on the left-hand side. We do have a couple of Hydras on the right as well, though, but he has cleaned through all those Lings, and now working on all the units here for July. He's got about 3 Hydras and 20 Lings in production as well. He's going to try and whittle these down. The Hydras do a lot of damage to the gateway units, and it looks like he might barely be able to hold this off, but another Warp in coming through here for TricKsteR. It's going to be very close.
Yeah, he's backing away, wants to avoid those Lings. The Stalker's doing so much damage here, though, even though the Hydras normally do well against Stalkers. Both players do have +1. The Hydras is very fragile units, and he does finally have that critical number of Hydras, though, to push this back, at least until these units warp in. A terrible warp in there by TricKsteR. He warped Zealots into Hydra Spines. That's not going to last very long. And it looks like July will successfully hold this. There's no blink, +1 armor wasn't done, and July is going to hold this.
It looked like he lost quite a few drones there as well. If we have a look, he is now down to 50 drones. But July being July, he's going to get straight back up in the next 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, he is actually right now making 6 more drones at once. He's going to continue to do that. He did miss a few injects during that. Of course, lost a Queen as well, I believe. So yeah, that Queen just popped out, so he's just trying to get those injects back up, keep up his production. Thermal Lance is on the way. How many did he even get a Colossus out? No, oh yeah, he did just get 1 Colossus. I couldn't find it. It was hiding on the map. There it is. You guys get a shot of it now. See where it was hiding? That's a good hiding spot. If I were a Colossus, I'd hide there.
But it has been seen by that Zergling now, so
yeah,
we do see a Spire.
Not as good of a hiding spot as I may have thought.
No, but we do see the Spire response coming out from July. Pretty much the only response he can have right now.
What I think TricKsteR needs to do now is take his 3rd base immediately. He needs to get that up. He doesn't want to be in a spot where he's trying to stick with his 2 base when his opponent already has 3 bases. He's got a decent amount of drones. He can just make whatever unit is appropriate. A 3 base Zerg versus a 2 base Protoss oftentimes lets the Zerg just kind of have that critical number of drones to make whatever unit he wants, and then he just picks one and he makes it. Like, oh, you have Colossi? I'm going to have a few Roaches here, a few Hydras there, but a lot of Corruptors in the mix. If you don't have Colossi, it's just mostly Hydras. Just basically allows him to make what he wants, and it can be really comfortable.
Yeah, we also have +2 attack coming out here for July. He did have 15 Roaches in production for a second there, as a lot of them do pop. And looks like we are going to have an engagement in the middle of the water here. Oh, the Colossus getting completely taken down, and now he is still on creep, even though on the water. You can just barely see it under there, getting a nice surround on all those gateway units, actually force fielding himself into a corner here, running away with this Colossus, but the Speed Roaches are going to catch him, going to have to force a cancel on that Nexus, and looking at the supply counts now, he's just
he is not going to hold it. It's just not going to happen. And
Too many
moving out on that map was a terrible choice by TricKsteR. If he had just kind of turtled up a little bit and tried to take that gold base, he would have been a decent spot. Now, you know, he's going to lose even more units, and I think he will hold this attack. He has 2 Colossi, he does have range, but it doesn't matter. He's going to lose all of his units, and he just can't replenish them as quickly as July can. He just doesn't have the economy.
July's at the point where he just makes more units and throws them down TricKsteR's throat. And that's exactly what he's doing here, chasing down that Colossus at the back. All the Hydras have fallen, but he just has so many units.
More and more roaches streaming in here. They do have burrow as well as burrow movement. He doesn't necessarily need to use either of those upgrades at this point. He does have +2 missile attack, and TricKsteR has 1/1 upgrades for all of his ground units. He is going to pull back now, burrow, regenerate his health, meanwhile just making more and more roaches.
That's all he really needs at this point as well. He's kept him on 2 base. We've got a Twilight Council coming out now for TricKsteR, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We're looking at 156 supply to 100.
Yeah, it's rough. The thing is also that July, he's got a lot of those roaches, and he just kept the Colossus count low. He made these Corruptors. That's all he's going to need. Very few Corruptors, just 5 of them here. The roaches just steamrolling through everything. The Colossi falling, the Probes and the Stalkers falling as well, and I think this is going to be it for TricKsteR. Going to go 1-0, or 0-1 rather, I should say, so far here in this group. GG!
But it's okay, because no matter how badly he does today, he's still in Code S.
Yep, that's true. He wants to, of course, advance to the round of 16, but knowing that he will be in Code S no matter what is a pretty good feeling. Yeah. There's July. He looks pretty calm after that game.
He always looks calm.
He does.
Like, win or lose, he's just like, yep, we're going to sit here with the same face.
Yeah. I like July. He's actually a really nice guy, and in general, he's got the right practice mentality. He also has the ability to play so many different styles, which you see a lot of players just stuck in one style, like Son today. He's kind of stuck in one style. I think if TricKsteR played again today as well against July, he probably would have done a different build. He would have tried a different style. Some people just don't do that, though.
But of course, we are going to go into July versus NestT. The first ZVZ I've had a chance to cast here.
Yeah, ZVZ, pretty exciting. And NestT, though, definitely going to be the... He's not going to be the underdog here. I mean, he's got more results than July, and his ZVZ, he's only lost, what, twice?
Not very often.
I think he's only lost twice, so...
There we go, we updated the results here. July on 1 win, TricKsteR on 1 loss. I just did see NestT walk into the room here with a big grin on his face. Can't be more confident than that.
Yeah, he seems really confident. I actually spoke to the IM coach very briefly today, and he seems really confident as well. And, you know, we were just kind of talking amongst ourselves. We were like, NestT's going to get #1 in the group, and obviously. It was just kind of an obvious kind of thing we were talking about, and it feels obvious. Maybe July's got something special planned. He's got to know. Most likely, he's prepared. I'm going to deal with NestT.
Yeah.
Most likely, he thought probably, I'm going to beat TricKsteR, and then I will play NestT, and NestT is really good in ZVZ. So, what am I going to prepare to do here? I wouldn't be surprised if July did something really weird. Yeah. It's Crevasse.
Well, he's known for a while now that his only real threat in this group would be NestT. He's known for over a week now. I wouldn't put it past him to have a special build put in.
He's known for a long time that Rain has not been in this group. And even before that, you didn't probably have to worry too much about Rain. I think, I don't want to say Rain's bad. He's actually really good. People give him so much trash because he all-ins a lot. I mean, he does, but he's good.
He does it at the right times.
He's played consistently well, so I got to say, can't give him too much junk for it. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then when we get back, July versus NestT.